Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world, the unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore all progress depends on the unreasonable man. People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. When two people are under the influence of the most violent, most insane, most delusive, and most transient of passions, they are required to swear that they will remain in that excited, abnormal, and exhausting condition continuously until death do them part. The liar's punishment is, not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Why should we take advice on sex from the Pope? If he knows anything about it, he shouldn't. Success does not consist in never making mistakes but in never making the same one a second time. A Native American elder once described his own inner struggles in this manner: inside of me there are two dogs. One of the dogs is mean and evil. The other dog is good. The mean dog fights the good dog all the time. When asked which dog wins, he reflected for a moment and replied, "The one I feed the most." If you have an apple and I have an apple and we exchange these apples, then you and I will still each have one apple. But if you have an idea and I have an idea and we exchange these ideas, then each of us will have two ideas. The only man who behaved sensibly was my tailor. He took my measure anew every time he saw me, whilst all the rest went on with their old measurements and expected them to fit me. The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. The happiness of credulity is a cheap and dangerous quality of happiness, and by no means a necessity of life. I have very carefully studied Islam and the life of its prophet, Pbuh. I have done so both as a student of history and as a critic. And I have come to conclusion that Muhammad, Pbuh, was indeed a great man and a deliverer and benefactor of mankind which was till then writhing under the most agonizing pain. All censorships exist to prevent anyone from challenging current conceptions and existing institutions. All progress is initiated by challenging current conceptions, and executed by supplanting existing institutions. Consequently, the first condition of progress is the removal of censorship. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. When you loved me, I gave you the whole sun and stars to play with. I gave you eternity in a single moment, strength of the mountains in one clasp of your arms, and the volume of all the seas in one impulse of your soul. I'm not a teacher, only a fellow traveler of whom you asked the way. I pointed ahead of myself as well as you. While browsing in a second-hand bookshop one day, George Bernard Shaw was amused to find a copy of one of his own works which he himself had inscribed for a friend, to dash with esteem. Do not waste your time on social questions. What is the matter with the poor is poverty, what is the matter with the rich is uselessness.